Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessler, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Friday, August 30th, 2024, as we come together to celebrate. What else? LUE ELIZONdo, my friends. Yes, we're here to talk about disclosure, here to talk about those things in the skies the government's covering up, those things from science fiction, and, well, you know, those things, of course, from the X-Files. Without any further ado, let me jump into the audience and welcome everybody. Thank you for coming out here tonight. It's been a long week, a lot of interesting things have been said this week. And I think I said it best. Oh, I'm on top chat. I'll have to fix that in a second. I said it best earlier. Oh, I can get to this little moment. Oh, did I lose it? Oh, I lost it. No way. Anyway, there used to be someone who was associated with the show by the name of LM. Who came to us one time when he was having spiritual entities terrorizing him and his family. And we got to know LM over time, but when he was having issues in the back and couldn't play along with others multiple times, we had to kind of cut him out of the show. He gets a little, that's a fact, as he likes to say a lot of times. And he's been making the rounds on some interesting places, even with good old Larry. Those two have teamed up, it seems. Gee, I wonder what they're involved in. Have teamed up, and they've been going on a tirade. And I have to say, in the small amount that I've heard spewing out of his mouth, every single thing that he said has been a lie. Every single thing he said has not been the truth. And I just listen to this and it's just like, where is this guy at? He is clearly having an identity, maybe more of a mental issue. If you know the guy, you live close to him, you're on a space with him, please encourage him to seek a professional mental doctor, whatever you want to call it. He kind of needs someone to help him straighten things out. I feel bad bringing it up, but, well, sometimes you just have to laugh at it. But you also have to think, my God, there's a guy behind this. And I just feel really sad for him. I feel that he's maybe reaching out. He may feel like he's isolated, like the family that he loved to abuse here at Disclosure Tonight all kicked him out. We don't want him here anymore. It's kind of where it is. And he's found a new family, and we wish him the best of luck. But, dude, you need help on that note. Let's welcome in our audience. How you doing tonight, everybody? Fun times all the way around. On that note, let's go ahead and take a look at the participants who we have in the back today and get this show started. Oh, let me get that up and going. Where is that at? Come on, Froggo. There's my sound effects on that note. Let's go ahead and welcome in our audience. Welcome, everybody. Great to have you here tonight. Who am I talking about? We have Anjoanne, Abby Araxa, Andy W's here. Good. And he's in the back. Aubrey McLeod's around, along with Bill Davis, Brian Pemble, Carl Joe Garrison, Country Carpenter, Corporal Abe 311B, Dem 69, Eli McGinnis, Eve Clancy, Fink Floyd, Firefly, J-Cat, Kathy, Kelly Broughton, those piercing blue eyes. Good to see you, Kelly. King Bull Metal Gaming, Neil Morgan's here, along with Rachel Osborne. Reality Check VIP, Rough Reddy's around. Who else we have out there? Shelly Montgomery, Shermanator Osborne, Syrup's here. Even Tia Loreno made it in. How about that? Truth Seeker is following up the back, along with Two Head 666 and Victoria Nance. Welcome, everybody. Wonderful to have you here on Disclosure Tonight today. Wouldn't be the same without you. Wouldn't be the same without an audience. That's why we're here. On that note, let's go ahead and see who else we have in the back, friends. Let's go ahead and take a look and see who's in our back panel today to enjoy the conversations we're going to be having about LUE. Who could it be? Let's take our first friend all the way from Bristol, United Kingdom, a man who's been on vacation, but he's back, and we'd love to have him here. Andy W., how you doing, my friend?
Hey, Thomas. Yeah, it's good to be back. It's nice to see everybody. Yeah. Vacation, unwell, trying to set my hand on fire. Yeah, it's been
What?
It's a bit of yeah, I had a bit of a dull moment at the beginning.
What do you mean
of the
try
week.
to set your hand? Did you
go to the emergency room? Good. I got all.
All right, you didn't set it. You tried. Did you succeed or did you fail?
I failed in setting my hand on light, but yeah, I succeeded in spending a bit of time in the emergency room.
Yeah.
So
better for your hand than your lungs.
Okay. That's both hands burnt now. Yeah, I have a habit of doing that.
Oh, there you
Great
go.
fun.
Great to have you here, Andy. Also in the back, we have our friend coming from the desert Southwest. Let's welcome in Brian Pemble. How's it going, Brian?
Hey, it's going great. Happy Friday, everybody. And I know you hate this, Thomas, but if you could turn on the video in the back chat whenever
Oh,
you
no. It's there you go. Can you see me now?
Looking great.
Thank you,
good.
sir. Appreciate that. Yeah. Wonderful. Great to have you here. And also in the back, we've got an experiencer like. Let's welcome in Mr. Cade Martin, all the way originally from Hawaii. How's it going, Cade?
Hey, how's it going, Thomas? I'm excited for the show.
Oh, I am too. Thank you for coming here today. In the back, coming from Canada, I think we have FreezerMan71. How's it going, FreezerMan?
It's going good, Thomas. Looking forward to another good show.
Thank you, sir. Great to have you here as well. Who else do we have out there? Well, we've got a man who used to go by the name of Reality Check, but that name got taken. Let's welcome in our very own Hollywood Harold. How's it going, Harold?
Yeah, that's good. Call me Holiday Herald. That'll work. Yeah, it's Labor Day. Labor Day coming up.
You got to have. Yeah, it is what it is. You know, I'm not a professional. This is a hobby, but I take it seriously. Thank you for coming in today, Harold. Wonderful having you here. Well, taking our sights and putting them onto the future. Let's welcome in someone who can see the future sometimes. Well, the people she works with can. Let's welcome in Laura Campbell, a remote viewer targeter. How's it going, Laura?
It's great. I've been watching the news this week. A lot going on in the UFO world. We'll get to it tonight. And I was in the emergency room a couple hours ago with my husband who swallowed a pill incorrectly. So I want to just public service message. If you're taking a pill, one at a time, and make sure you have a lot of water with you.
Oh, did it go down his esophagus?
Down the lung.
Yeah,
They
the
can't get it
esophagus.
out.
That they have to go down with something and grab it and bring it out.
That they can't. It's too deep. So he has to just hope that it gets out on its own, dissolves. Yeah, it's fun.
Breathe deeply, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made it.
There you go. I'm glad you could make it. Absolutely. Also in the back, we've got, coming, skip over that, from coming in from the opposite side of the world, turn the world upside down for that matter. We have a woman you could say it's none of your business, but it's actually Susan Ford. How's it going, Susan?
I'm really good, thanks, Thomas. Yeah, I've had a few days of an action-packed adventure.
Oh, yeah. It's been one of those weeks, hasn't it, girl?
It has.
Expect the unexpected.
Exactly.
Yes. Wonderful to have you here, my dear lady. Thank you for coming out tonight. Flipping the world back right side up and going to Southern California, the place you ought to be. Let's welcome in Faze Will. How's it going, Will?
Hey, Thomas. How you doing, buddy? I just want to say, we don't tolerate any toxic people.
Oh, no.
Toxic behavior on this show. So, they got to beat it. I don't want to say his name. I don't want to say that boy name.
Oh, you don't need to. We already got it. We know who that is.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. One of those days. Absolutely. Thank you for coming in today, Faze Will. What we've got, Sarah, where the heck are you from? I forgot. You're not from Ohio.
I'm right next door to Faze, kind of. Just live a little bit further up north. So,
where?
In the high desert, California.
You're in California, right?
Yep.
There you go. Hey, we're close enough. How about that? Well, flipping on the opposite side of the country, let's welcome in Tia Loreno. How's it going, Tia?
Hey, Thomas. Nice to see you. I love seeing you on Fridays because I miss you during the week.
Nice to see you too, my beautiful lady.
Goodness. Thank you very much. And all the haters can kiss your butt. How about that?
How about that? There you go. And on that note, where did it go? Mike, are you still around?
Of course, my friend. Always here.
I wish.
So, yeah, don't worry. I got you back.
I know.
We'll have fun, and it's another good Friday. And the trolls, they're not going to be successful.
Oh, they're not going to have. Yeah, let them try.
Yeah, you know the saying for Friday.
Yeah.
Fuck around and find out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm still laughing on this shit that's been said. 40 whistleblowers you disclosed, Mike. 40. He got Rush's list.
I did.
from Tim
And
Burchett's
according to
office,
them,
and you leaked it to nobody.
I leaked it all over the internet, according to the toxic people, the trolls.
I tell you, these people need mental help.
It seems like they're having some sort of a mental health crisis, but maybe they'll find help.
Oh, you know what they're going to find? Washington state law is really the strongest laws in the United States against cyberbullying. Washington state, Mike.
Oh, no, I know, Thomas.
It goes a lot
And
farther than a copyright strike can, or 3 of them for that matter.
Oh, absolutely, because then it becomes criminal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what they are.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if they continue and they keep up, they'll find out the hard way.
We're going to fuck around to find out.
Yeah, they absolutely will.
Oh, yeah.
We're ready. So.
Oh, yeah. Better believe it. Also, Andy, you had your hand up? Is it still up or did you put it down?
I put it down, but I was just about to say, yeah, I'm here. I'm ready to play a game of Whack-A-Troll. So.
Oh, that's right. It's that time of the night, friends. Let's see who wins the prize. Who knows if they'll even show up? We'll see. Hopefully not. Hopefully not, because we have a lot of stuff to come around. Our first thing we're going to be talking about here tonight, it's all LUE Elizondo here. I didn't put him up on the title card. I need to bring out one of the other cardboard cutouts I have or create another one to let everybody. We're talking about our first story, LUE Elizondo on ABC News. Unidentified anomalous phenomena. They're real, and they're a national security issue for this country. On that note, let's go ahead and jump across to the big screen. Where is it at? Video guest. Here we go. Let's go ahead and get this going. All right, video full. Here we go, everybody.
LUE Elizondo, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. So, Imminent tells the story of your courageous fight to make public what the government knows and doesn't know about UAPs. What made you want to write about this?
Yeah, well, I wanted to be able to tell the American public my experiences and what the government has been doing for a very long time, not just when I was in the program, but for decades, about the government's interest in UFOs, or now what we call UAP. You're absolutely right, unidentified anomalous phenomenon. The fact is, they're real, and they are a national security issue for this country.
And it's so interesting because many, many years ago, I worked at the Pentagon for ABC, and I remember getting a tour of some of the hallways, and somebody said, oh, that's where they study UFOs, UAPs, but it's top secret. Like, that's all they would say. So there's this secrecy approach to all of this, right? You write in your book, while there are valid reasons for secrecy around some aspects of UAPs, I do not think humanity should be kept in the dark about the fundamental fact that we are not the only intelligent life in the universe. So why do you think the United States government and other major governments have taken a secrecy approach to UAPs?
Sure. I think if we look at this temporally speaking, the U.S. government, when we started really looking at this, was at the...
Wait, hold on a second there. Andy, I've got you up on the screen. Lou just said temporally speaking. Which generally means if you're saying temporal, which means temporal, means you're dealing with time travel.
Yeah.
Right?
So is that a clue? You know, but we know how Lou throws out these little breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's maybe one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we do keep an eye on the breadcrumbs here at Disclosure tonight, and we are going to talk about some more breadcrumbs that have come out in this week from LUE Elizondo. We want to explore, and we're going to be stopping as we can during these episodes. I know it's nice to go ahead and have it there. Come on, why won't this move? That we can go ahead and caps lock, maybe. No. Screw it. And let's just go ahead and play this. Here we go. Sorry, I was trying to fix something live. Apparently, it's not playing with me, but here we go.
Height of the Cold War, and you had this contentious relationship at best with then Soviet Union. And what we didn't want to do was necessarily tip our hand to any information perhaps that we've gleaned from UAP or UFOs, and certainly perhaps any information gaps or maybe information that we don't know about the UFOs. So that's one reason. And then I think the other reason is that governments inherently are responsible for ensuring the protection of their people, of their citizens.
So Lou, for those those who may be skeptical and are thinking, nope, there's no such thing as UFOs, it's not existent, you're here to tell us that there is fact and research that they do exist.
Let's not forget, Stephanie, that we've had already a former director of national intelligence, a former director of the CIA.
Okay, so the first one is James Ratcliffe, former DNI. The other one is former head of the CIA, James Clapper. Let's see who else he gets in.
And even a former president of the United States all come out on the record and say, yeah, it looks like these things are real. Our very best, most sophisticated technology is picking these things up. We also have eyewitness testimony from our trained observers, our combat pilots, and then you've also got the radar data, all basically substantiating the same event at the same time, at the same place, under the same circumstances.
And so much technology that's been analyzed and researched. Now, let's talk about your own personal experience. You mentioned in this book that UAPs have appeared both in and around your home. How did these personal experiences influence your views on UAP, and what exactly did you see?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, let me preface, we're not sure if they are actually UAP related. What we do know is that a lot of people that
could be consciousness related, could be paranormal related. There's a lot of things it possibly could be. But the most important thing when Lou gets into this and he talks about this, to realize what he saw, didn't see alone. His wife, Jennifer, who was also on the News Nation interview, brought that information forward as well. So multiple people did see this and believe also, I think it was happening at the neighbors' houses as well. Let's continue.
Or in the program that I was in, also had very similar encounters while they were in the program. So not before and not after, but during the time that we were researching these UAP. And from our experience, when I say ours, I mean my family's and even our neighbors witnessed some of these, are these luminous green balls of light, very diffuse in nature, no hard edges, that would just seem to kind of peruse the house and go down the hall and go through a wall. I know it sounds rather bizarre. And look, there are absolutely possible natural explanations, right? You could.
Hey, Andy, really quick. The last sighting two sightings ago I had here, when I was out front talking, and I thought I saw something go whipping by me, and it wasn't a moth. It was something bright green, a green orb for that matter.
Yeah, there seems to be, different colors, don't there? I've seen a pure white one. Mm-hmm. I've seen an orange one. I've never seen green, and I hope I don't see a blue one because from what I see, I think it's in Lou's, but they're not very good for your health, the blue ones. So, yeah, you see any of them out there, people stay clear.
Yeah. I've seen the orangish, goldish ones off in the distance, up about a couple hundred feet in the air. But the one I saw that was up close was green, and that was the only time I've seen one that was green. But either way, light bulb went off. I had to bring it up. Let's continue.
Yeah. Say ball lightning, or say almost fire, or some sort of plasma static charge in the air. But the bottom line is it was very bizarre. It was witnessed by not only my family, but again, neighbors and other individuals who are part of our effort in the government also experienced very, very similar encounters at their residences.
Absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much, Lou, for sharing your experience and for documenting what you know and what you think we should all know in your book, Imminent: Inside the Pentagon's Hunt for UFOs, which is available now to purchase. Thanks, Lou.
Yeah, just really quick on this. Another one of the reasons, I'm not sure if it was talked about in this, but something Lou has said in a bunch of his interviews so far, one of the main reasons he did the book is it doesn't matter how many live streams that you've been on or news programs, that information comes and goes quickly from the public media, from the public site. But when you do a book, he calls it as something that's being indelible, meaning that something that has a lot more exposure. It lasts for a much longer time, and it's one of the reasons that drove him to actually do this book. On that note, let me get into the desk, Zoom for that matter, and let's see if I get up onto the next one. Well, we've got another one. It's another quick interview coming on. This is LUE Elizondo talking about David Grush. Grush is a patriot, he says. He's a damn fine human being and a hero for what he did. Elizondo reveals that he worked with Grush at the U.S. Space Force. So let me go ahead and bring this next video clip up. And I think that, yeah, and this is coming from never before seen footage with LUE Elizondo that was brought out earlier, a couple days ago. This wasn't something that was included in the main interview with LUE. Not quite sure why. It could be facial expressions or other things, but for some reason, they decided to keep this out. Pay close attention to the words, to the facial expressions, and the tone of the conversation. It's a doozy, Andy. You ready? All right, let's get into desktop full guest. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. And they'll go to great lengths to
on.
This is a dangerous battle you're fighting, Lou. There are forces, powerful forces, that don't want this story told.
Oh, yeah. And they'll go to great lengths to keep it a secret. Look what happened to poor Dave. You know, I worked with Dave at Space Force. I don't know if that's public knowledge, but I'll say it. What the hell? He and I were working the UAP topic for Space Force for a very good man, a senior guy, very senior guy, by the way. And this was all in the open. So I mean, this was acknowledged at the time. And he did the right thing. You know, a lot of our servicemen and women suffer deeply from PTSD. And until recently, we were always told, you know, it can affect your security clearance, don't seek psychological help. And then something happened. Somebody who I respected quite a bit, and thankfully it was General Clapper, when he became the DNI, he said, we're not going to hold our men and women anymore responsible. If they go and seek mental counseling and they self-referral because of PTSD, the horrible things that they have to endure in combat, they should not be penalized from their security clearance, right? So what happened with Dave Grush? When he did the right thing, he did exactly what he was supposed to do. Some nitnoid reporter gets information from none other than who? Two people from inside the government to say, Dave had counseling. Well, wait a minute. That's exactly what you want someone to do if they need it. Because the suicide rate for our men and women in uniform is through the roof. And you know what? No one seems to really give a shit. So this is why we had to change the policy. So for David doing the right thing, the very first thing he does within 24 hours, they start seeding dissension and they start misinformation and trying to question his loyalty and his credibility. David Grush is a patriot. And in my book, he's a damn fine human being and a hero for what he did. And what was his reward from that? What was his reward for that? Immediately, the antibodies came out and they tried to discredit him, just like they tried to do me, just like they try to do anybody else who comes out and steps out of rank.
I just want to go ahead and bring this up again. There is a huge swing from LUE at the start of this.
To keep it a secret. Look what happened to poor Dave. You know, I worked with David.
Almost like he's in a trance at that point, going back and thinking about what it is. But as he gets through into this further and more, you can see the anger, the vitriol popping up on his face as he's talking about it. Syrup, you've had your hands up, my friend?
Yeah, it's kind of beside the point of what Lou's saying, but quick question. Do we know if David is still working at Space Force on the UAP topic?
Personally, no. Have I heard that he's potentially not through the grapevine? Yes. Potentially. It sounds like he's no longer there. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
No, since Lou brought it out, back when I was talking with Lou on a regular basis and we were dealing with stuff together back at that time, and I was initially introduced to David, that's when Lou was working with David Grush. Andy, go ahead, so I can corroborate.
Yeah, I just want to say this about, you know, what happened to David with the release of his medical information. Now, I'm led to believe by another podcast I watched that there's certain legalities with releasing medical information.
Yeah, we have here something called HIPAA, which
HIPAA,
is
that's the one. You caught me as I was trying to look up the name for it. You know, so potentially whoever released this information has broken the law.
Federal law.
Federal law. Okay. So, yeah. So I think, you know, I don't know whether David was following up on that, but we definitely need to find out who these we now know it's 2 individuals that releases information by what Lou says. We need to find out who they are, and potentially they should be removed. If they're senior members of the U.S. government, then, well, any member of the U.S. government, I find it absolutely disgusting. And Lou's 100% right. I've never served, in the UK military. I know a lot of people who have. And post-traumatic stress disorder is a killer. It's a massive killer. And as Lou said, he did the right thing. He brought up David that he was having issues and he needed help. He sought help, which unfortunately a lot of veterans in your country, in mine, they don't seek help. There's only one way out for those guys and girls. And I've suffered it a bit, PTSD through things that have happened in my life, but nowhere near as much as these guys and girls suffer. So
I'm still suffering it on a regular basis with all the schmucks out there spreading lies and disinformation and misinformation about me. It sucks, but sometimes you just have to learn to let it go in one ear and out the other. But if you hear a friend like LM who seems like they really need some mental help, man, find a doctor, please. You really need to go find someone, sit down and spend a couple months talking. Non-stop.
Definitely, yeah. Don't keep it all bottled up. If Lee's having issues, get it sorted, Lee, man. You're a good bloke. I enjoy my times talking to you. You can slag us all off, but get yourself some help if you need it, because it's a dark path you can tread.
Oh, he's already there, my friend. He's already there. Now, coming up to our next bit, this is a tweet that's coming to us from UAP James. Let me get back to desktop video full guest. Here we go. UAP James has a great clip here. LUE Elizondo on UAP non-human intelligence. Mark is asking, are you aware of non-human intelligence on this planet? Let's go ahead and listen to this one. And I have to say, UAP James found a really good part in this clip. We're going to stop in a couple places and talk about it, because this is a really powerful clip that also, when I heard it, seriously, Andy, it sent me for a loop and saying, what's going on? It's one of those. It's one of those moments, and I don't have many of those. So let's go ahead and get this clip up here. Let's play it, and then we'll talk about this as we're going through it, because I care. Here we go. Let's play this.
And then what I was going to move on to was Grush. And it's funny that you mentioned him, because let's take, for example, the situation where he's in front of Congress and he's outright saying to everyone on broadcast that we have non-human intelligent craft that have crashed on Earth and we have recovered bodies. So that's not necessarily just the Lou show anymore. These are other people that are coming out and saying this. You know David.
I do know David very well.
So you can surely confirm or deny that.
No, what I can say is he's an outstanding human being, but I will never speak on behalf of Dave Grush. If you want to know what Dave Grush thinks, I think you should have him probably here on your podcast. And
holy cow, holy cow. Holy cow. You just heard that, Andy. He won't speak for anything that David Grush has said. And everyone, the whole thing on Twitter, since he came out, everyone says, we stand with Grush. Let me replay this again.
I couldn't find my mute button there. I think David needs to come forward again.
I think so, but this part just really... there's another part that's going to kick up that threw me for a loop. Let me go ahead and
direct if you want to. No, what I can say is he's an outstanding human being, but I will never speak on behalf of Dave Grush. If you want to know what Dave
he wouldn't ask to speak on behalf of David Grush. He was literally asked, what about the stuff that happened to Grush? Did it or didn't it happen? How do you want to look at this thing? And Lou is just like stepping back everything from Grush. Now, we've heard a lot of interviews post this. If you notice LUE Elizondo here, he doesn't have his Lou T. His KFC little goatee gets in the center here, like the Colonel, right? It's not there. So this is done a while ago. But, yeah, it's a strange answer that just... I'm at a loss for words. On that note, let's continue on. I know I can see some people in the audience saying strange answer. Yeah, let's continue with this.
Things I think you should have him probably here on your podcast and ask him directly, because he is his own man and he's had his own experiences.
But you must have had...
Oh, shit, hold on. Screw that one up.
And it's funny that you...
Hold on. Let's explain to you why, okay?
Are you aware...
Hold on, sorry about that. I screwed this up.
He's his own man, and he's had his own experiences.
But you must have had similar experiences.
He's his own man. He's had his own experiences, but as we heard in the other clip, he worked with David at Space Force. He knows him. So, you know, we've heard so many of the other people standing up, like Carl Nell and Gary Nolan and all these people talking about this stuff, standing behind it, but it's just, it's like... something's different here.
Experiences.
Well, I must have had... What does that mean, similar?
Oh, this is an interesting part here. Let me play this one. Here we go.
You must have had similar experiences.
Well, I must have had... What does that mean, similar experiences? If you can... Because I'm not... Your definition of similar may be a little bit different than mine. What do you mean?
This is where Lou gets really particular with answering the questions and coming back and asking for details on it. This is a different Lou than I've seen before. Just saying.
You can cut to the chase and I can ask you, are you aware yourself, forget David Grush for a minute, of non-human intelligence on this planet?
Rather than tell you a yes or no answer, because and I'm going to explain to you why, okay? I'd rather tell you what I do know for a fact. Okay, what I do know for a fact is that there are things that are operating in controlled U.S. airspace and globally that are performing in ways that we simply can't match today. And when I say we, not only the United States, but as far as we know, any other adversarial nation out there. So what does that lead to? Well, it leads to a whole bunch of different possibilities. Now, there are certain aspects of this conversation I cannot discuss. And the reason is because I have signed a security agreement with the United States government, which is basically a contract that says if I reveal anything about X, Y, or Z, I can and I will go to jail. And of course, the next part of the conversation that people always say, well, if this is such an important topic, Lou, aren't you willing to go to jail? And my response is, I don't have to go to jail if we do this the right way. I don't want to go to jail.
But it sounds to me like that was a long way of saying, yes, there are non-human intelligences, and yes, what Dave Grush said is correct. I just can't talk about it.
Okay, this is where it gets dicey. Pay attention, everybody.
Well, you can interpret it any way you want. What I can say
am I interpreting it correctly, or
what I can say is I cannot confirm nor deny that question that you're asking me. And so that is a very common parlance in U.S. government speak. If there is a topic that of a certain sensitivity that we are not allowed to discuss, whether yes or no, right or wrong, that is the statement that we have to provide. And by the way, let me say this too. I completely understand and sympathize you chomping at the bit and your listeners wanting to know the answer. I want to give you the answer 100 times more than you want to get the answer. I promise you. It is very frustrating for me to sit here and look at you in the eye and have this conversation and knowing that listeners are listening. And I have to provide answers that may appear to be evasive, but it is not intentional. But I have taken an oath to my country, and that oath is sacred to the point where I've been willing to go to war several times for it. It is something I'm willing to die for. It's a matter of principle, and I am not going to break that oath. It's no different than being married. When you look at someone in the eye and you say, I do, till death do us part, that is a lifelong contract. You can't just once in a while break that promise, say, well, except for Sundays at 6 o'clock at night when I'm with the boys at the bar. It doesn't work that way. It's either a promise that you take serious or you don't. And I happen to take that promise very, very serious.
All right, that's part of it. There was another one. Let's see if I can find it here. I've got the audio clip from it. Let's see if I can find, is this it? No, that's not it. I've got one more here that I missed. All right, almost there. Where did it go? Sorry, everybody. I'm dealing with this live on the air right now. Nope. Almost there. Oh, I can just pull it from here. Let me just pull it from here. It'd be easier. Download this one. Let me get to... This is an audio clip from the same interview. I thought he was going to go there in this one, but I think maybe it's going to be in a different one. So I just want to make sure we've got this clip here played as well, because it's another important one. Where is that at? 2 terabyte. Let's go ahead and play. All right, here we go. This is somewhere in this interview. I thought it was in this clip, but it's not. 45-second clip. Let's play this one. Here we go.
You can interpret what you want, but I did not say that the U.S. government is in possession of crash retrievals and biologics and bodies. That's your interpretation, and the lack of information that I'm providing, you're filling in that blank. Now, you're more than welcome to do that, because, again, I understand that my response wasn't very, it was rather ambiguous, right? So
one more time.
You can interpret what you want, but I did not say that the U.S. government is in possession of crash retrievals and biologics and bodies. That's your interpretation, and the lack of information that I'm providing, you're filling in that blank. Now,
That's the first time, honestly, I've ever heard Lou say in a conversation, that's you just filling in the parts between the things I didn't say. I didn't say that. For me, Andy, this just sounds like a different version of Lou than I've heard before in an interview.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to put my finger on it.
Yeah. It's troubled me all week, honestly. Since I've heard this stuff and everything, I've been going on and everything, and it's just... Kelly Broad's saying he did say it. Yes, he has said this on multiple interviews, multiple times. He's come out since then about David Grush. He's come out since then about the bodies and about the crafts and all that stuff. And, you know, we've heard that Lou is the highest level of security clearances, and whenever he gets out there, he has to tell the truth. And if he doesn't, he's going to lose the security clearance, right?
You know, dare I say it, you know, is he being pushed by whoever?
Yeah.
You know, you know, his Lou's security clearances are one of the biggest things for him.
100%. That's one of the things that draws him to us, because, you know, we know he's out there fighting for us, trying to get the truth to come out. And I know it's it's a treacherous path, it's a line, but just the vernacular of the language that's being used, the combination of the words, saying, well, that's not what I said. That's you filling in the stuff between it and pushing away from it. That sounds like a counterintelligence agent kind of speaking, you know, someone trying to avoid connecting the dots. I don't know.
Yes, you know, from all we've heard from Lou, and I'm not, you know, I'm not dissing him on this or anything.
Neither am I.
Yes, it's different. It's a different tone. He sounds quite
different.
Yeah, different. More of a depressive, I think, you know, sort of.
Well, the stuff we saw at the stuff potentially with Ross Coulthart, the lack of expression, looking in the dead stare, that could be something with PTSD and other things going along with. This just seems a bit more, it's different.
Yeah.
It's a different side to Lou than we've seen before in the past. And that's why I recommend anybody go ahead, if you can get the chance. TWOBI is the actual live stream that it finally came out in video format earlier this week. It's worth watching. It's worth listening to if you have an opportunity. All right, let's move on from this one here. Oh, where am I at? No, I don't want. I want to get out of this one. Let's move on to the next one. Maybe that's going to be here. LUE Elizondo talking about UFO material from the same interview. When you have material, you can do material science. You can do atomic analysis. So let's see what Lou has to say on atomic material. or recovered material for that matter. Remember, anything that deals with the UFO, it's crashed. It's not necessarily DOD, it's DOE, which has a better ability to go ahead and lock up the truth from coming out. So let's play this next clip and see where it takes us. All right, here we go.
A video here too is neat and great, but wouldn't it be more meaningful to create, let's say, I don't know, a national laboratory construct where now we have the national laboratory created to study this with the best and the brightest? That seems to me a lot more valuable than another video hitting the internet. Yeah, the internet, the video's neat and people look at it and say, gee whiz for a week, and then they go back to, eating popcorn and watching Netflix. Mm-hmm. That's not the solution. The solution is, as you say, get the best and the brightest to put their minds onto this thing and really try to figure out what the heck is actually going on.
Why do you say that you think we would need laboratories? Do you think there's stuff that people would want to look at in terms of materials? Or?
Well, I think, look, proof is in the pudding, right? Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's another thing. You're hearing a lot of I thinks. I think is someone who is speculating. I think this is the way it could be. I think this is the way it is. He's not saying, I know. So there's a distinct pattern to his language when we're hearing some of this. Hearing him say, anytime you hear I think, that is speculation. When it's an I know, we know he's talking fact. So let's continue on. Here we go. And nothing against Lou. I'm just trying to educate the audience of the difference in the way you use English language, especially in a legal sense. Here we go.
Tangible evidence is always very, very valuable because then you can do a whole nother type of study. Right now, you're looking at videos, and you're looking at telemetry and speed, velocity, accelerations, and whatnot. When you have material, you can do material science, right? You can do physical analysis. You can do chemical or molecular analysis, and then you can do atomic analysis and really get to the heart, looking at isotopic ratios, for example.
Spectroscopy to find out what is the
absolutely, and why do certain materials behave the way they do? Because we don't have any material right now that can withstand those forces. So if you have something in your hand that you can look and say, whoa, that is really unique. That can.
But also, Lou has said, with the materials we found, we lack the material science. We lack the material science required to reproduce this stuff. Hal Puthoff has come out and said, if you want to create a 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter square of this stuff, it's going to cost you hundreds of millions of dollars. It's going to take you 10 years to do it. We understand, again, Lou has said in the past, we understand how this stuff works. We lack the ability to recreate it. Makes you wonder, are they trying to bring down UFOs to recover the UFO materials to use on our own craft because we can't reproduce it? Brian.
Yeah, that's a great point, Thomas. So this is why we're trying to shoot them down so we can get more of the materials, because perhaps we've had some success in recreating what they're doing.
Yeah.
And hey, we need more of these because we can't physically make it anymore. So the only way to get it is to bring them down, which I think and I think most people in the audience would agree, it's a damn shame. It's great to study the materials, but if you piss off the people making the materials and you start off on a bad foot of the people that are in the crafts and or they're, whatever you want to call it, leaders or mothership, I mean, that may not bode well for you as a society in the long run. You're looking at short-term gains versus, long-term gains. Yeah. But I think you make a great point.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you much, Brian. I appreciate that. Let's go ahead and continue on with this little bit here. Great This only goes on for another 13 seconds. Let's just get to the end of it.
Do stuff that our material can't do.
Have you had stuff in your hand?
Unfortunately, I am not at liberty to discuss any.
I did it again. He's not at liberty to discuss.
I am not at liberty to discuss anything as it relates to potential physical material.
Okay.
But what about the materials from TTSA that you've held in your hand? What about the materials when you were at Hal Puthoff's house and they were putting the samples away in a locking file cabinet that was like a safe? You can't talk about it? Really? Brian? You could say, I've held supposed samples. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah. No, I think you and Andy hit the pin on the head just a little bit ago, I think he's protecting his clearances. That's kind of his backup. I don't think he wants to go through what him and his family went through again. And so therefore, I think that's probably why
he's
you're getting
saying
some
other things
backtrack.
on other shows and other places, so it just comes into it. Again, we're seeing in this interview a different Eve Clancy says he's being a bit inconsistent. That's what we're seeing. There's a difference in the consistency of everything we've seen of LUE going on for the last several years.
And so this may not be popular with the audience, but I hope he makes a ton of money off this book.
Oh, I hope so too. I mean, his family went through hell for a long period of time, and they still are.
And then he can free himself of these clearances and talk more freely. That's my hope.
Yeah. God, where did Jen have to go work, at Taco Bell or McDonald's or something like that at the time that they were working at TTSA, or was it Target? I think it was
Target and Home Depot.
Target, and I wouldn't doubt that would be the first time. All in the pursuit of UFOs. It's a big price to pay for everybody who's involved. It's not just LUE, it's his wife, it's his kids.
And that's a stellar partner he's got.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let's see what else we've got here. Let me get back to the desktop chat. You having a good time tonight so far, Brian?
Oh, absolutely. This is great stuff, Tom. I think you are nailing, LUE's ups and downs right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the only one that can speak for himself, but I think that I think your analysis and what Andy said earlier is right on, 100%.
I mean, we're kind of at a point where I am just trying to go ahead and be honest with what we're seeing, LUE talking and everything that he's got going on in this situation, because I think it's a good place for us all to be. And if I go ahead and put up my blinders all the time and try to avoid the ups with the downs or the downs with the ups, that they're going to say people that I've lost my perspective. Maybe in the past I did lose a little bit of perspective in some key, but, we're at a different place at this point. We've been doing this for years here at Disclosure Tonight, and we've got an audience that loves to hear what we have to say, and honestly, it comes down to just trying to be responsible as a entertainment journalist, whatever you want to call it, what we do here, but just to try and be real about this stuff, because I'm on the outside looking in as much as everybody else is.
Correct. And if I may, before you get to Laura, Thomas, you are 100% right. And we have to call balls and strikes as we see them. And we're going to be wrong sometimes. I've been wrong. I can't tell you how many times. But that's the goal. And people will criticize you, as you know, and as people who have been around this field the last couple of days, the knives are out for Thomas for some odd reason. LUE Reviews got you out there. I mean, there's we talked about some other people in the show earlier. And I think you're taking it really well, Thomas, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
So I really appreciate that. And we'll just continue to try and call balls and strikes as best we can. No umpire is perfect, but we always try.
Mm-hmm. Oh, can I find it? Oh, I found it. I found it. And I am going to get in trouble. I'm going to play the Laura, go ahead.
I was just thinking about future projects for LUE and Travis and Jay. Quantum Frontier has been listed as a potential corporation that they started as of 2024, possibly July. So and when you look at what their goal is, they want to transfer hyper advanced technology into commercial applications. That to me sounds like perhaps Travis and Jay might have got their hands on some materials, and if not the materials, then they're researching it to use for commercial use.
Yeah, it could be potentially. I thought I had something here, but apparently I don't. I'll see if I can find it. I'm going to have to go through a bunch of videos to see if I can find this one. It's going to be worth it. On that note, what we have coming up is another video coming up that just came from today, in an interview that was from Pat Gray Unleashed. We got about a minute clip. We're going to go ahead and play with this again. Go ahead. If you haven't watched this interview, it's another hour-and-a-half interview that came out with LUE Elizondo earlier today, and it's definitely worth the watch. Let's go ahead and bring this one up next. Desktop Zoom here we go. Desktop video. Here we go. Let's play this one and enjoy it. And look, Lou is actually back at his desk at his home in Wyoming. How about that? Say hi to the puppies, Lou. Here we go.
You not only believe that we see these UFOs and they're not from this planet, right? They're not on-world technology, but you do believe that aliens are among us now?
Well, I don't like to use the word alien. I tend to use non-human intelligence because whenever you say alien, people think automatically.
Oh, isn't it important to call it non-human intelligence instead of an alien?
They're from out there, and quite frankly, we don't know yet. We need more information. We need more data.
Okay.
It's pretty compelling that it's not us, whatever it is. But to say the term aliens, I tend to stay away from that because I'm not sure we really know yet.
Are you positive that it isn't us?
We are very, very certain. Look, you've already had a former director of national intelligence, a former director of the CIA, and even a former president of the United States all come out on the record and say, look, guys, there's something to this.
So we're hearing that same dialogue again and again, going from interview to interview.
There's something that we should be looking at. It's not our technology. The government's already come out and said it's not our technology. Right. We're pretty sure it's not foreign adversarial technology, so that kind of limits what your possibilities could be.
So there we go, another little interview recapping some of the stuff that we've heard before. Nothing that much major new on that one, but it has been a week so far of LUE Elizondo getting out there, talking about his new book. Now, I think I do have another interview coming up here that we haven't shown yet. Yeah, and this is another one of Ross Coulthart, that was talking about the Pentagon trying to muzzle the truth surrounding the UAPs at Ross Coulthart on Morning in America, coming from our friends at News Nation. Here's our next video clip for us to go ahead and show. Here we go. Oh, wait a second. It's not here. I thought it was here. Oh, gosh. A new tab. Let's see if I can get it without.
All right, well, whistleblower.
All right, we got it. Here we go. Let's play this one. Here we go, everybody.
Like David Grush and LUE Elizondo are attempting to prove aliens exist beyond a shadow of a doubt by going public with what they know about UFOs. News Nation special correspondent Ross Coulthart has interviewed both, revealing alleged shocking government cover-ups, including a non-human crash retrieval program. This week, he expands on that conversation with former State Department analyst Marieke von Rennenkampf. The link to that episode available by scanning the QR code on your screens. And joining me now is News Nation special correspondent Ross Coulthart. Ross, good morning.
Scanning the QR code on their screens. Remember, only less than 20% of the people who are watching News Nation are actually watching it from another screen besides their mobile device. Good try.
To you. Let's first listen to part of what that former State Department analyst said about what people report when they allegedly see UFOs.
And I will add that one of the most common phenomena that was reported, and I assume still is, and if we read between the lines of a lot of what the Pentagon is released in terms of pilot reports, that round spherical objects, sometimes multicolored, usually red at night or metallic during the day. And you know this, Ross, right? We've covered this. That is one of the most commonly reported phenomena.
How do his claims compare to ones that you've heard before?
His claims are absolutely spot on. Firstly, good morning. What he's basically saying is what the Office of the Director of National Intelligence said back in 2021, that UAPs are real, that they display phenomena, characteristics that we can't explain with known human technology. They do things that we just can't do.
That was the former Director of National Intelligence at that time. He was no longer the Director of National Intelligence, just trying to keep this clean.
science, and they appear to be intelligently controlled. And as Marek said there, a lot of this phenomena is orbs, spherical orbs, sometimes glowing plasma, sometimes metallic. But the disturbing thing is that they're showing themselves over military facilities. And right back in 2021, people have forgotten their history. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence published an absolutely groundbreaking report that reversed 50, 60 years of denials, and the Pentagon finally admitted that UAPs are real, that they're inexplicable, and that they should be investigated, and that they are...
We're talking about the first report that came out from the UAPTF.
A national security concern and a public safety threat. So this is a real front page agenda issue now. You've got the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer pushing legislation in the House to try and get through accountability provisions. And he has actually said that multiple credible sources have alleged that elements of the government have illegally withheld UFO-related information from Congress. It doesn't get much more serious than that.
We also chatted with another whistleblower that you have spoken with as well, LUE Elizondo. We talked to him earlier this week, a longtime Defense Department researcher. You sat down with him for an exclusive interview here on News Nation, where he claimed that UFOs are real. He sort of took us into what the Pentagon has been looking into. How has that conversation been received?
Well, obviously, you still have a really interesting situation in the US where you've got the Pentagon dogmatically denying that there is any issue here. They're trying to bury it as quickly as possible. But conspicuously, the Director of National Intelligence, who is the intelligence czar created after 9/11 to oversee the intelligence community, they're not saying that. They're not letting the Pentagon get away with it. They're actually saying, yes, these things are real. It's no longer a claim that UAPs are real. They're real. And the Director of National Intelligence...
But don't forget, we're getting AARO, who's the public-facing part of the DOD, coming forward and denying any of this stuff exists.
Admits it. So you have a problem at the moment that the UFO Investigation Office, AARO, is within the Pentagon. And there are people in the intelligence and defense community who are trying to muzzle the issue. They're trying to stop you, the public, from knowing what's really going on. And when you've
we've been talking about that for the last year and a half. It's called the DOD has been trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube. It's nothing surprising.
Like Senator Chuck Schumer, one of the most powerful people.
Which I have to say, wonderful Senator Chuck Schumer, you're bringing it up. The last time Chuck Schumer actually made a statement about the UAPDA was almost a year ago when it failed. So where is Chuck Schumer today? Why hasn't Chuck Schumer stood up and said, get out there, support this, we need your support? Why don't we see him lobbying on any of this? Is he just a name being signed, or is there something more to it? I'd like to know.
People in the Congress saying that multiple credible sources have alleged that the government is concealing evidence of a UAP retrieval and reverse engineering program. At what point does the American public make this an election issue and say, look, we want answers, we want this?
Well, it's not going to be an election issue because so far we've had one interview with Kamala. One. Lasted 18 minutes, although 41 minutes was recorded. And what do we get out of it? Nothing. So if you want it to be an election issue, Ross, you need to have both people on both sides of the party be willing to talk about it. Now, Trump was also asked about this, and he kind of supports bringing the truth out. So if you want it to be an election issue, you need to go more. You need to go after the candidates and get them to bring an answer.
It's investigated.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to JoinNN.
Go to JoinNN. There you go.com. Hey, look at that. We got a super chat. Holy cow. Coming in from Reality Check VIP. Keep the fire burning. Holy cow. Thank you very much, Reality Check VIP. Coming in this last day of our period of August. On Friday, August 30th, I want to thank Reality Check for throwing $5 into the kitty for us tonight. Every dollar that comes in Disclosure tonight goes back into our production fund. I am so humbled and thankful for everyone's love and support, including you, Reality Check. Thank you, my friend.
Not a problem, Thomas. You're doing the general public a great service by keeping them informed of what's going on behind our backs. I'm on.
Yeah. We try to here, don't we? Reality, don't you, Harold? We try to bring out the truth however we can and get it there for our audience. That's what it's about.
Yeah, you do. You go to great pains to try to verify some of this information and make sure that it's being spread publicly and stuff, and people have a knowledge and awareness that we are not alone. I've seen it. Half the people on this channel have seen it in one form or another. That there is something up there.
Oh yeah, there is. I've seen it too many times to count, my friend. Too many times to count.
And what's the deal I was listening to earlier about now the Pentagon's right angle church going people or stuff, religious people, or they're starting to lay on the demon talk again.
Oh, that was years ago, Hollywood. That was back in the day of OSAP. That was one of the reasons that they shut down OSAP in the first place, was the religious right within the Pentagon, was better known as the evangelicals, were trying to shut down everything about Disclosure because they thought it was a bunch of devils and demons flying around in the sky.
I just think they're keeping on. Somebody keeps bringing it up. I don't know where it's from, but I seen it again today somewhere. So.
Oh my God! You know, it's the same people who keep on bringing up all the same bullshit about me in the past and everything like that. Sometimes they don't let sleeping dogs lie, do they?
No, they don't. But
it just shows how much they love and care about us. I tell you.
Well, keep on them, Thomas. I'll be back here. I'll do what I can to help you out, keep the lights on.
Because if you listen to all the bullshit they say, my God, Hollywood, you are right next to Disclosure right now, on Disclosure tonight. How about that? We're government agents.
Yeah. I like being
We've got a handler
process.
named Jen Elizondo.
Yeah, I go back
They're fucking idiots. Oh, my God.
Say, see, we were right all along, and I got to put my 2 cents in. Yay.
Oh, you got to have fabulous show, DT Rocks.
Are open, Thomas. Here they come. Here they come.
Oh, the trolls showed up, really?
No. Your donation box.
Oh, we got someone Firefly from Australia kicked in, $10 Australian. Thank you very much. There we go. Love and appreciate Thomas coming in from JCat. And I've got the dogs attacking a bag of treats. Hey, Mike, you with us? I don't think he's with us. He got back home. Oh, hold on. I'll entertain the audience for a second, Hollywood. Anybody? Brian? Anybody up right back? I got dogs attacking. Who was attacking the treats? Moose? What's going on?
I don't know
okay,
exactly what's going on here, guys, but Thomas is in the middle of some kind of dog.
Moose was attacking the dog treats.
Yeah, and if I can say, a Schumer can bring a clean bill to the floor of the Senate at any point in time that he wants to. So he's already got the bill. They keep trying to attach it to the NDAA. This could be brought as a clean bill at any time. Now, if he's afraid that the House is not going to pass it, well, that's the House's deal. But
now remember, LUE Elizondo also said, when I asked him the question with regards to NDAA, Brian, they're working to get past the Senate. What about the House? And Lou was like, well, each side is going to get a little bit. So if everybody wants to go ahead and look at what they're getting in, what's going into NDAA versus what they're going to get out, get past the hype, everybody. It's not all going to pass. One side's going to get a little bit and another side's going to get a little bit. And it's not that I'm against Disclosure. It's not that I'm against the process. I just want to be realistic for our audience to set expectations so you're not going to be let down again and again and again, because I have been, like everybody else is. You read the document, you see the legislation that's going to come out, and you look at where we're going to go, and where does it take us? Nowhere. And there's this big, huge, oh my gosh, look at this great stuff, followed by the, oh crap, it didn't make it. So what I'm trying to do is temper all of our expectations, Brian. Keep it down.
Sure.
And that way, if something big happens, you celebrate it. Otherwise, don't celebrate early because you're going to be paying for it on the downside, right?
No, that makes complete sense. I guess my goal here, and I appreciate that, would be slightly different. If it was a clean bill, that shows your intentions are good, and I believe that would pass the Senate, no problem. So it gets sent over to the House, it goes to committee, et cetera, et cetera, and then it gets torn apart by the mics, right? And I brought this up a bunch of times. As long as you get that clean bill to the House, you've got the ability to do what's called a discharge petition and discharge that bill out in its original form without any of the changes that the committee's made and put it to a floor vote, as long as the House has 218 votes. So, is that going to happen? Probably not, but that's the way, in my opinion, it should happen. I don't think it's rocket science. So if those people that are actually introducing these bills really believed in this and really thought it should pass, that's the path forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate your feedback on this, Brian. Again, it just reinforces where we're coming at on disclosure. We want to have an eyes open, no fear approach to it, for we know where it's at, where it's going to go to. Would you look at that? One of our friends from Sweden. We haven't seen him in a while. Ali Oxenfree. How's it going, my friend?
Oh, it's going great, Thomas. I always watch this channel, but now my schedule, daily schedule, is makes it impossible to be awake at this hour normally. But I really enjoy you, and I'm kind of shouldn't you it's very important, serious question this, but I cannot. Prevent me from laughing really when it's such an absurd situation, and I'm thinking if I'm thinking about putting a question to this Fitzpatrick AARO guy.
He's gone though.
Yeah. No,
Sean Fitzpatrick, Patrick Fix-Sean, all that kind of great stuff. You can have fun with it.
Yeah, precis. But I don't want to say, now you have presidents. You have very high military guys, admirals, generals, colonels, how many? 40, 50? Coming forward now to talk about this UAP from their own experience, their own knowledge. You have pilots, you have Grush, you have Elizondo. And if you're talking about security risks for the U.S., well, then I wonder if you have that amount of delusional illusions among high-ranked military guys and even presidents, and now active pilots, if they are not considered to be credible evidence, as Fitzpatrick said, well, then you have some serious XXX problems with your security. That question has to be put in front of them, and they would be very curious to see what kind of answers they would give from the DOD or the AARO.
Well, here's a quick thing. Here's a little point brought up by Andy. I'll let you address this one to see where this lies with you. Andy W., who's in the back right now, brought up the point and said, where's that again? Even though AARO has a new leader, don't expect it to change their stance. Is that a good way? Basically meaning even though we're getting a new head of AARO coming in, they still have the same boss. They still have the same leadership. So pretty much you're going to see the status quo coming out of the new guy as much as you had it from the old guy, right? Ollie?
Yeah, very probably. But, you realize if you were the boss of the, if you were the, what is your name here? The chief, right down to the military, the highest military guy in the White House office under the president. What's his name? The black guy.
Lloyd Austin.
Yeah, Lloyd
Lloyd
Austin,
Austin though was actually going in lobbying last year against NDAA against the UAP Disclosure Act 1.0.
Yeah, yeah, because he's letting his AARO telling the American people and the people within the military as well, of course.
But they got to remember,
a lot of non-credible high militaries in our organization who have illusions about non-human intelligence and the UAPs and sources. If you were a real boss, and you know that what they was talking about is not true, is not real, then you would sack them. We would send them to a psychiatric hospital to get treatment. So it's ridiculous.
Oh gosh,
you cannot have that kind of people within the high positions within the military.
If I
they're
can,
credible or they're not.
If I can, since you brought us down this rabbit hole, I have a video coming from Richard Gelrich, who I side with on this one, saying I'm not buying it. We've got Ross Coulthart talking about the appointment of Dr. John Kozlowski as the new head of AARO. So let's see what kind of kind words Ross Coulthart has to say about Dr. John Kozlowski. Thank you very much, Freezer Man. Yes, I agree with you. The truth cannot be denied indefinitely. It will find a way to come out. On that note, let's go ahead and jump to this next video, and let's enjoy it, everybody. Here we go. It's video night tonight. I love it.
New AARO Director. This is the Pentagon's UFO UAP Investigation Office, AARO, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, and the Interim Director since October 2023, since Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick departed, has been Tim Phillips. And he's now been announced by the Defense Department to be being replaced by a Dr. John T. Kozlowski, who's come to us from the National Security Agency. And I have to say, Dr. John Kozlowski is extremely well spoken of by people I respect and admire in the UAP field. People say he's very, very genuine about bringing...
But how are his bosses? Remember, anything that Kozlowski says has to come out from his bosses. So it doesn't matter how good of a guy this guy was in the past. He works in a new world order, let's be honest.
Bringing a new approach to AARO, not that he's hypercritical of his predecessors, but that he does want to try and restore public confidence in AARO after, frankly, what has been months of turmoil. One of the first tests of Dr. John T. Kozlowski, of course, is going to be whether he retains Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick in the rather unusual role he's had as a kind of semi-consultant to AARO, where he's been commenting in his role as a former director of AARO and being given, I think, undue emphasis, I think, because of his past role as a director of AARO. So it'll be very, very interesting to see whether Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick is kept on in that role by Kozlowski. But what I can tell you about Kozlowski is he's pretty impressive. He comes from the NSA, which is, of course, one of America's premier spy agencies. He's been involved in what sounds like incomprehensibly complicated research, leading mission-oriented research in the fields of networking and computing. He's a subject matter expert in the area of free space optics, whatever that is, advising various DoD agencies. In addition to his optics research and crypto mathematics, Dr. Kozlowski invented an advanced language-agnostic search engine and served at the DoD's Special Communications Enterprise Office.
Oh, he's reading his resume. Perfect.
What that means. I took a peek earlier at 2 patents that Dr. Kozlowski has patented and found them...
Patents? Patents. I thought he was talking about patience.
There are 2 patents that Dr. Kozlowski has patented and found them so incomprehensible, I'm not even going to try and tell you what they are. He's got a bachelor's degree in mathematics and physics from California State University, San Bernardino. And
oh, gosh, I have to cut this out because this is no different than when I read his actual resume, his CV on the show last week. I'll continue. What the hell?
A PhD in electrical engineering from Johns Hopkins University. And just to give you a summary of his work, the focus of his doctoral research was the invention of novel devices that leverage principles from quantum optics to receive very weak phase-encoded signals. Clear as mud. Well, what I can tell you that does make sense is Kozlowski is very well spoken of by people who want change and want a greater degree
I wonder if he could be meaning LUE.
Of transparency and openness by the Pentagon. And frankly, whilst I'm not a huge fan of AARO, and I've been very critical of AARO, I think this is potentially a very positive move. And it's going to, I think, be incumbent on all of us to give Dr. Kozlowski a chance. Let's show him good faith, and let's see how he moves.
Well, there's the end of that one. All they do down is give peace a chance. I don't know. I guess should we give him a chance, guys? Or should we say he's going to be as corrupt as everything else as part of AARO? Hollywood Herald, do you have your hand?
Kirkpatrick a chance. See how that worked out?
What was that again, Mike? You're back.
Yeah, we gave Kirkpatrick a chance.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't work.
I'm not going to give him that opportunity right now to get up our skirts.
No, but here's the thing. Was his former position in the NSA, this new director? It was.
Oh, yeah. You know, we can trust them.
Yeah. I don't think they're pro-disclosure.
No.
That's my point. Right. The next point is that isn't there a second historical report that's due to come out of AARO soon? There is.
A historically bad report? Yes.
Right.
Oh, Moose.
And you know that Kirkpatrick had his hands all over that.
There's Moose.
So
there's Mocha.
This new director,
yeah.
When they release that report is going to be a Kirkpatrick report. Yeah. It's not going to reflect kindly on this new guy.
Yeah.
That would be my next point.
Yeah. Good point. If anyone wants to rewind on their show, we have Mocha who's going through heat, and we've got Moose behind Mocha trying to ride the pony. Oh, gotta have fun with it.
Good luck in getting through the chastity belt.
Oh, yeah, they got the chastity belt on right now. I bought those from Amazon months ago. Got to get to it. All right, Hollywood Herald, do you have your hand up, my dear friend?
I'm just wondering what they're even going to get this new guy to work with here. Where are they drawing the line at for their case files here? 2010, 2015? You know, where are they going to draw the line at to present their final resolutions and stuff, you know?
They're going to keep on trying to cover it up until it's obvious that they can't cover it up anymore. They're going to keep the company line going, that there is nothing there. There's nothing for us to talk about. Look at all these cases where nothing happened, but we're not going to bring any of that kind of stuff out there to go ahead and give you any kind of an idea that there's something going on in our skies. And you know what? It's wonderful that they keep on talking about these craft that are having incursions over military bases. Fuck military bases. Hollywood, I want to know if they're flying over your house. I want to know if they're flying over Mike's house, Tia's house, my house. What are they doing with the general public? Stop covering it up. Start getting those details out there. That's the information I want to know. I know it's the information our audience wants to know. Or am I missing something here, Hollywood?
No, you're on the right track there and stuff. I'm just wondering, you know, because all the best evidence probably was before this line and stuff, you know, actual pictures with negatives, you know, you could actually have a physical representation of it and stuff. Now it's all digital and stuff, so they're never going to.
Oh, they're going to know. They're going to see stuff. They're going to get there. I would just love to see all the great videos and pictures that were sent to people like Lou or Christopher Mellon and other things that aren't classified. That's the stuff I'd love to see. The stuff that looks real, the stuff that isn't classified by the United States government, the stuff we can bring out as actual truth, and we shouldn't have to wait for a pay-per-play video from James Fox or someone else to bring it out, right?
Jeremy Corbell, I'm getting old of that stuff, man. I know there's a lot of
I know.
stuff up there.
That's the Hollywood portion of it that kind of makes me sick, honestly. It's the whole part is we want to bring out the truth, but if you want to see the good stuff, come on, you got to pay.
Yeah,
and people do have a right to get there, but we're putting behind something that should be an existential piece of knowledge, and we're putting it off in the fringe to make our money off that small percentage of the people that are within that fringe, versus going out there for the big kahuna.
That's just so bad. The state of the world's the almighty dollar when we could have a paradise and stuff. Everybody just get their head out of their ass and just let the stuff out, man.
UARO director.
Yep, absolutely. If we can. We got 4 people with their hands up right now. Let's get to it. Brian Pemble, you have your hand up, my friend.
Yeah, I'll be brief. If you noticed in Ross's description of his resume, he analyzes fatty decoded signals. Now, what the heck is fatty decoded signals? But basically, that's a fancy way of detecting bioluminescence. So he's looking for those little things that NASA's always looking for that give off any biosignature.
Oh, the kind of stuff that's in frogs, it's in jellyfish, it's in the ocean, and little microbial life. It's in fireflies, that kind of stuff.
Correct. So that's a fancy way of saying I'm looking for little microorganisms and anything else.
It's another way for saying I'm looking for shit that glows in the dark naturally.
Correct. Exactly right. Exactly right.
Just being blunt about it. Sometimes you need to be. You got to have fun with it. Bring out that black light. Look for those splashes. You never know where it's going to lead you next.
But you got to put a fancy name on it, Thomas. That's the most important part.
That's true. That way you can realize that's how we earn the big bucks. Oh, God. There we go again. All right. Freezerman71, how you doing, my friend? How can I help?
Doing good, Thomas. My take on this new guy, it gives the same vibe as another J. Allen Hynek. We're not really going to go anywhere with this arrow.
Yep. I hear you. Much better. I'm glad you changed your view before, because all those lines you had when you were in between the house and everything just was like crazy. I love the trees behind you.
Difficulty, so I came to the back of the house.
Perfect, my friend. Thank you for being here tonight. Absolutely, 100%.
No problem, Thomas.
Great point. Syrup, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I know Mr. Kirkpatrick himself claimed he had access to everything. Oh, they gave me access. We now have access to everything. But according to Rick Doty, he never actually got a Title 50. He never got that Title 50. And I don't think they're going to give this new guy a Title 50. I think AARO was set up from the very beginning to mislead the general public into thinking they're actually doing legitimate investigation.
The intention for AARO was noble. They were supposed to report to Congress and bring the truth out, but the thing is, it's like going to the priests' organization to get them to come forward and rat out the fellow priests who have diddled the little kids. They're not going to give you the truth because their hands are in the cookie jar, literally.
Exactly.
Yeah. We can't expect the guilty government to come out and implicate themselves. It's going to take force. It's going to take some manhandling, potentially. Ali, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I think we're all frustrated in this. We win some battles and we lose some battles.
Yep.
But I said it almost 2 years ago. But we are winning the war.
Yeah.
Because we have forces in our backs. That we see now, the pressure on this denial wall that they have, it's creating cracks at more and more places. And, we have the truth behind us. We have knowledge behind us. And I just listened to Richard Doty's latest, what is it called? The Chronicles on UA.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. Fantastic with the B-52 incident and so on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And most important of all, in the whole West now, the people's trust in governments are falling apart.
Yeah.
And so the dam can burst under these pressures, and it's gonna burst. It's just a question on when and how.
Mm-hmm.
So just be patient, guys. I tell you, we're winning this. And more people are getting aware of the situation here with all the witnesses that's coming through and telling their own personal experiences, as well as all these high professionals as well. So they already lost this. That's my take.
Yeah.
And thank you, Thomas, for your...
Thank you very much. And late in the show, I do have a breaking UFOs alert. I found a tweet that I did a long time ago that seems really like a good idea to bring this out tonight for us to have some friends. I mean, some fun here, my friends, because absolutely...
You'll be sorry.
Yeah, I know. What am I alluding to? I have a video here from Patrick. He used to be on the show, where Golden Corral diners are frightened by a 500-pound beast, only answering to the name of LUE Buffet. This is a classic video from Disclosure Tonight that I figured, you know what? It's been a while since we've brought this one out. Where is it at? Let me get out the full video chat. Here we go. And here is Patrick coming to us from his local Golden Corral.
This is George Nappy reporting to you live from the Golden Corral, where diners have reported a 500-pound animal beast sweating and nasty, eating inside the buffet, clearing end-to-end the buffet, scaring diners away. Only answering to the name LUE Buffet. So here we stand, here at the Golden Corral. I'll come back to you more for WTF News. I'm George Nappy. This is George Nappy.
There we go. I was looking for that thing all show, and I could not end today's show until I absolutely covered that breaking news. You think it's appropriate, Mike?
Oh, I think it's perfect, Thomas.
A little bit of fanning of the fire. I know I shouldn't do that, but it's such a great classic, I tell you.
Well, look, turnabout is fair play. So shots taken, shots fired. That's how I see it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I do have a quote here from Larry.
You like movies about gladiators.
Oh, no, Thomas, you're not going to do it, are you?
No, I don't. What are you talking about? I just a thing asking about him asking Timmy if he likes movie about gladiators. It's not like there's little girls in the room, if you know what I mean.
No.
With mom and dad, of course, and Larry.
Right. Asking if a child has seen a grown man naked before.
Do I have that
clip
one?
from the movie.
No, I don't have that one. I thought I had that one. No, got the Big Bang. God, please subscribe. Here we go.
If you look at the bones of a Giganosaurus rex, it's clear by the use of carbon dating that Mountain Dew is the best soda ever made.
Yeah. Paul Damon gets it. Yeah. One of those days.
I get it.
You got to have fun with it. Mike, what a great
fun Friday, Thomas.
Yeah. Oh, it's Fuck You Friday, my friend. At least you finally got a truck, a new vehicle. I am so proud of you.
Thank you. It's been a long haul, and I'm glad it's finally over.
Yeah, granted, it's only a 4.9 or 4.6 and not a 6.2. It's still more than a 0.0.
That's right. Something is always better than nothing. So
yeah.
I'm happy.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, gosh, what a fucking week. What a great time. I'm glad our audience is out here. I guess I've said the F word too many times. I've got to be careful. We're probably going to get the spanking from YouTube, but just got to be careful on that front.
Oh, we're late into the show. It's been very peaceful and tame the whole time up until now. They're not going to have any issue with that.
Yeah.
Just watch any Corbell video. He's starting with F-bombs from the get-go and doesn't have any issues. So we're not going to have a problem.
What's coming in October? Halloween? Someone wants to know, Firefly, what is coming? Oh, the October surprise. Is that what he's getting towards? Do you think we're going to have an October surprise?
The October surprise people have been alluding to are probably the back-to-back releases of the pay-for-play documentaries that are coming out. Both of them.
Oh, yes. The James Fox. But I think the other one's going to be bigger, isn't it? The one for Michael. Is it, who is it again?
Dan Farrar.
Dan Farrar. I always want to call Michael Herrera. It rhymes with Dan Farrar. But yeah, Dan Farrar. That's going to be the good one, I think.
That should be interesting from what we understand.
In other words, let me translate if you don't know, Mike. Interesting means that's really fucking good.
Potentially. It may have some new footage and information we haven't seen before, which would make it interesting.
Yeah. From people who are saying things that they shouldn't have been saying in the first place.
Correct. Which is usually how it goes. But that's okay. We'll wait and see and find out what happens. If it works out the way that it's supposed to, it'll be interesting. It'll be fun for everybody. We'll see. But Brian and Laura both have their hands up.
Okay, we'll get to that in 1 second if I can, really quick. If you're having a fun time, everybody, do me a favor. Where is that at? Please subscribe. Please like and subscribe to Disclosure Tonight. We'd appreciate your subscription. Yeah, we hit 4,000, actually 8,000 subs finally. Thank God. But we're on our way to 8,100. So if you haven't subscribed yet, do us a favor. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a subscribe. And if you're not having a good time, give us a thumbs up. If you're having a good time, if you're not, give us a thumbs down. Actually, you know who I heard repeating that line today, Mike?
Who was that, Thomas?
Lou fucking Buffet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, listen, the content from this show seems to go far and wide.
Oh,
and it's been like
really
that for a
wide,
long
I
time.
tell you.
Oh, absolutely.
On that note, Laura, you have your hand, my dear lady.
And then Brian.
Yes, when you're talking about October, I have on my calendar here that 18th of October, which is a Friday. You know how they always put things on Friday to kill it so that weekend comes along and you forget it by Monday? It's the release of the UFO information deadline. So that'll be interesting combining with the movies that are coming out or the shows.
You mean the information that's supposed to come out from the National Archives, which are not going to give a shit anyway, so just saying.
We'll see.
I predict nothing. I predict dust.
Didn't they do a document dump a while ago from the National Archives, and we covered it here on the show? And when we went through it, it was all disjointed with really nothing new.
It was nothing but a bunch of just dust. Let's call it that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be the same thing on October 16th.
18th.
Government, 18th. The government tends to repeat itself, especially with bullshit like this. So nothing is new. Nothing's going to change. And there's going to be nothing of any value or anything interesting in there.
Yeah.
So, Laura, do you have any other insights for the audience?
Not till next week when we do some more remote viewing on different topics. It's just been really interesting doing background and look. Every time we get together and discuss this, I come up with new people to look at, new situations.
There's nothing you learned in the last week you can share with our audience, not the back chat. Because remember, if you want to hear the good stuff about Laura, you have to come in the back chat after the show.
I talk so much about remote viewing projects. I start to forget what I shared on the. I know I talked about Jay Stratton a little bit, and as far as his book, I guess the big news that no one would know is that there's a second book that he's contemplating. Ooh. It's kind of like, let's get this one out in 6 months or so, around February maybe, or around that time. And then the other one that is more UFO.
It's kind of where Lou should be saying, I got the first book through Dopser, I've got my next second book ready to go through, and I'm pushing it through the pipeline for the approvals because the first one made it through. And we had to wait a year.
Well, I think he's not working on the second one as hard because it's more ET related kind of. Oh. So we'll see if that one even gets done. He wanted to kind of do this one first. And there is a chapter on the first one on Skinwalker. That's what we saw.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Interesting to say the least. Wow, would you look at the time? We've had such a great show. We've almost gotten through an hour and 40 minutes, Mike.
Yeah.
Is there anything we haven't covered here tonight from anyone in the back, anyone in the audience?
Anybody have something to add or
anybody, anyone? Bueller?
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Sarup? Martin? Ali? FaZe? Oh.
Yeah, I got something to say.
Take it, FaZe.
Yeah, I just want to, really appreciate your hard work, you and Mike, and I just, man, I love you guys to death, man, and I'm here for you guys no matter what. You guys are doing a great job, and I'm proud of the show. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, FaZe. Well, we try to do our best here at Disclosure Time. Yes, it's a hobby for me, but I do hobbies really well. But we're here because we're all in this together. Together, we're a community. It's not just me. It's not just you, Harold. It's all of us together, and that's why I do Disclosure Tonight, why we keep this damn thing going day after day, week after week, because it's more than just me. And if I were just to pull this plug and get out of there, irrespective of what frickin' LM said, no, it's not about that. It's about the audience. It's about the community. It's about everybody coming together. It's about spending right now our Monday nights, Friday nights, Saturday afternoons together to talk about disclosure. And that's where we're going to go. As Metal Gaming says, strength and numbers on that note. What a great night. What a great show. On that note, I want to go.
Oh, Harold has his hand up.
Harold, go ahead, my friend.
Mention to Laura that I've been watching some of Whitley Shriver's stuff. He had a good thing on there today about LUE Elizondo's orb experiences and stuff. So I'm always interested in the orbs and stuff.
Yeah.
You work with that stuff there, Laura, very often?
I have friends that have had many experiences with orbs, different colors going into their bodies, on film, pictures. So it's really, for people who are experiencers or have been doing this for years, it's really not a big shocker. It's a shocker to the audience who hasn't, but really it's been around for a long, long time.
Hey, you know what I just heard, Mike? Lee has recorded all of his backside conversations.
Right.
This will be epic. So if he's in Texas and he knowingly recorded people without their permission from Texas, he's liable if he brings out any of those recordings, right, Mike?
Yeah, because it's a two-party consent state. So at that point, if he was to release anything, it would be a violation of the law. He'd be facing criminal prosecution.
Yeah.
But you and I also both know that regardless of the ridiculous claims that he's been making publicly lately, he doesn't have any such thing. It's just another allegation.
Hey, Mike.
It's nothing proof. Yeah.
It's a fact. It's a fact I have that information.
Oh, yeah.
Just like it's a fact I have every single message that Lee ever sent me. Every single one. Going back to the first time when he was claiming that having paranormal experiences in his house. All the way through to the last ones when just last week, after he was throwing us under the bus, he's like, go back to LUE Elizondo. Ask him some questions.
Right. Which goes to show you that's somebody who's not thinking too clearly.
No,
obviously.
It's someone who needs mental help. It's someone who needs to understand you're going through a lot of stress at home. You're giving away your family home. You're going through a horrible divorce, and you can't handle the mental stress with that and your job and your life and everything going on. And we really feel sad for you, Lee, honestly.
Yeah, hopefully he gets the help that he needs. And
I hope
he's
he
able to
does.
resolve his
I
issues.
really hope he does.
I hope so too. We all do.
Yeah.
And maybe this insanity will stop. He's really just making himself look
He's just
bad
digging a hole that's deeper and deeper and deeper for himself. And I wish he can find the help and find the counseling that he needs to get to a safe place.
Right. You know, there's an old saying, put up or shut up.
Yeah.
Somebody actually has something, they usually lead with that. They don't bury it.
Yeah.
So that's how anyone...
Everything
Yeah,
that I heard Lee talking about on his little spaces and everything, he was flat out lying. The information that he had, what he was bringing forward, every single thing that I heard. Now, I didn't hear everything, but every single thing that I heard from this schmuck was a lie. And the reason we had to go ahead and pull him out of the show, why was it, Mike?
Because he would, according to him, he stated to us that he fell off the wagon, that he was a recovering alcoholic, and since he's going through a difficult divorce at home, he fell off the wagon, started drinking heavily in the back chat, and was harassing the women in the back chat. And we had no choice with all the multiple complaints we were receiving but to permanently remove him from the show.
Yeah.
Which we did.
Yeah.
So that was his actions, not ours. We didn't choose to have that happen.
So
but that's what happened.
Is it LM, Lee, that you're talking about?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And you were there for some of that, Ali. You remember.
Yeah.
You were the brunt of it many times, Ali.
Yeah, we had our fights, that's for sure.
Yeah.
No,
and I like to have the back chat in a conversation where everybody is equal, everyone has a great opportunity. But when you have someone who's clearly abusive on many fronts, and they don't play well with others, you just have to kind of pull back and say, wow.
Enough is enough.
How close was he to Larry? And Larry's train of thought, Mike, is what my question is. Because in a lot of those initial chats when Lee was out there, wasn't he there hand in hand with Larry?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was. Absolutely. And we now know that Larry is a self-proclaimed pedophile.
But maybe there's a reason for that, Mike. I don't know.
It could be. You know, you might be onto something, Thomas. We don't know what it is. We're not in their personal lives, and for good reason. So whatever it is, we hope they get the help that they need, and hopefully are able to resolve their issues.
Yeah.
But we no longer have to contend with any of that.
Oh, I know. It's one of those things, but we just have to go ahead and deal with it and see where it's going to go. When you have someone who's out there that's regularly broadcasting lies to defame and hurt a person to cause personal damage in the state of Washington, that's called harassment. And we're going to have to deal with that, cyber harassment. And if he wants to continue spinning lies about me, well, we'll have to deal with that as time goes on.
Oh, everything will be dealt with, Thomas. You and I are well aware of that. We've been dealing with it for a long time now. Whatever steps need to be taken will be. But hopefully he finds the help that he needs, and this resolves itself peacefully.
She's got her pants on.
And if not, we'll deal with it. That's all. That's the bottom line.
Look how happy Moose looks. Yeah. Anyway, on that note, I want to thank everybody for coming out to this episode of Disclosure tonight. What a great night. What a great opportunity to hang out with friends. On that note, I want to go ahead and thank everybody for your wonderful super chats tonight and Disclosure tonight. Who am I talking about? I want to go, hey, Luke. I want to go ahead and thank Reality Check VIP. Oh, Jesus. Did I just screw that up? Yeah, it's gone. Firefly, everybody else who gave the great super chats. I just clicked on a button. I lost all my chat history. Thank you very much.
I started a trend there, Thomas. I started it tonight, the avalanche.
Oh, you did, my friend, and I had it there, and I clicked on the button wrong, and I lost it all. So we'll see where that goes, my friend. Thank you for coming out. Oh, FaZe Will, everybody else who gave super chats. Jan, I think a bunch of other people. JCat gave some great super chats tonight, my friends. On that note, I also want to thank everybody in the back chat for coming out tonight who's been part of the conversation. That would include Andy W. Thanks for coming out tonight, Andy.
Oh, my pleasure, Thomas. Yeah, I faded in the last half of the show. It's really late here, so but I'll see everybody for Saturday night show, Saturday evening.
You better believe it, Andy. Thank you for being here. Hope you feel better.
Yep.
Brian Pemble, thanks for coming out tonight, my friend.
Hey, absolutely. Great show as usual. Good to see everybody.
Thank you, sir. Also want to thank Hollywood Harold. Thank you for being part of the show.
Sure thing, Thomas. Wouldn't miss it. And I try not to anyways. I'm sorry I had you hit that button and delete your list there.
Don't worry about it, my friend. Don't worry about it. Also want to thank Freezer Man. Thank you for your questions tonight.
No problem, Thomas. It was a great show as always.
Ali Alvian, thanks for coming out. Thanks for your questions tonight.
Yeah, thank you guys. To Mike and you are handling the conflicts here on on the show. So very, very professional.
Thank you, sir.
Very good of you.
Gotta have fun with it. Gotta have fun with it. I also want to thank FaZe Will. Thanks for your questions tonight as well.
Yep, you got it. Thank you, Thomas.
Syrup, appreciate the questions tonight.
Thank you, Thomas. It was a good show tonight. I look forward to the back chat.
You better believe it. Tia, thank you for your questions tonight. Appreciate it. And Mike, Disclosure, appreciate you being here more than you would realize.
Oh, it's my pleasure, my friend. We're family, and I'm here whenever you need me. And we'll get through all of the trolls and the bullshit. Have no mistake.
Oh, you better
I have
believe
you back. Everything will work out.
And
as
we
does.
usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear, be safe, everyone. But
go back to Party City where you belong.
Absolutely. We'll catch you in the flip side. Good night, everybody. Love ya. See you tomorrow. 10 p.m. At 2 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. London time. Take care, everybody. Good night. Bye-bye.